Okay, so welcome everyone. Welcome to all of you and to everyone who's watching. I am Nadine Nicholson.
I'm Derek Nicholson.
Yeah, and we are the co-founders of Ascend Leadership Co. And we are so grateful and honored to welcome three of our clients here today, Julie, Lisa, and Joni, and they'll be introducing themselves and telling you about themselves in a moment. So how about we dive right in? So so how about Julie, we start with you and, tell us a bit about your business and what you do to support your clients.
Thanks, Nadine. I am Julie Cabezas. I'm the CEO of Copy Crimes, Dangerously Good Copy. We write websites and email marketing for aspiring 7- and 8-figure personal brands. And we specialize in high ticket sales, personal brand voice, and the live launch method. So our goal is to empower these thought leaders, these experts to serve more clients by teaching them and creating brand assets for them to grow their businesses.
All right. Thanks,
Awesome.
Julie. Thanks for getting us rolling.
Yeah, thank you.
Joni, you want to jump in? What about you? Tell us about your business and what you do to help clients.
Well, my name is Joni Taberner, and I've been in the world of supporting others to rise to their fullest for over 25 years. It's hard to define exactly my job. I would say I'm a life transformation mentor. I love mentoring. So I'll support people to heal from trauma, as well as just all life challenges and reclaim their authentic essence. And, it's my value system and my belief that when we live from who we truly are, we create lives that are reflective of our purpose and very fulfilling lives. So, I love to work with clients one-on-one to accelerate this process into breakthroughs. And as well, I facilitate and create life transformational events for people to gather and experience the excitement of doing this growth and this healing and this expansion together.
Nice. Thanks, Joni.
That's amazing. Thank you.
So important. Thank you. Lisa.
Okay.
You.
I am Lisa Haggis. I am a brand strategist who is now also a business owner and a CEO and a founder because of my work with Nadine and Derek. I own Realize Your Brand, and we help visionary entrepreneurs turn their growing businesses into legacy brands. We help them become the one worth mentioning by creating methodology, offerings, and messaging that is completely uncomparable, but also completely authentic to the business owner. And so we exist to prove that it's possible to always succeed as your authentic self. And we help them build the business that makes that possible.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you.
Yeah, I just don't have anything to say other than wow.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want that?
The combination of the three of you.
Yeah.
Dream team.
Dream team. Just a powerhouse women, entrepreneurs. It's so amazing to be in the presence of all three of you.
Yeah. Thanks so much. So maybe Lisa, how about we stick with you here in this one, and would you please share, where were you before meeting us, working with us? Give us a bit of a sense of that.
So when I met you, I think I was maybe 6 years into my business, and they had been very mediocre years. I was hanging on and I wasn't going to give up. But I was very low revenue, very low prices, very low confidence. I loved my work, but I was stuck in a cycle of over delivery, self-doubt, and undervaluing myself. And then also because of that, I was stuck in a cycle of resentment. And, a lot of patterns that were also eating away at my health. And so when I met you, my health was my biggest obstacle, and my self-esteem. And, because of the fact that, as you know, you were my clients first, I just through osmosis started changing in the process of getting to know you and seeing, how you value yourselves and how you take a stand for other people to value themselves. And so just like my worldview started shifting immediately upon being in your presence and working with you and helping you uncover your brand, helped me truly, truly see that what was holding me back in business was not business strategy, although I thought I didn't know enough and I thought I didn't have the right answers and I thought I wasn't doing the right things. But I was able to see that what was holding me back was completely my own self-perception, self-trust, and self-esteem. And, obviously I got a huge transformation on a retreat with you that completely changed the course of my business. And then in ongoing work, have been able to completely shift how I see myself. And what I've learned is that my business is a complete mirror image of how I see myself. My success in life is a complete mirror image. And so you've helped me see myself as a person who can have everything I want. And so I'm getting there. I'm having it.
So amazing. That's so amazing. I will never forget that retreat that you were at in our amazing Rocky Mountain. So it was pretty amazing.
You flew across the country, all the way from Ottawa to the Rocky Mountains to be there. And yeah, what an experience. Yeah. I'll always remember, Lisa, discovering you. And it was a private coaching client of mine at the time before Derek and I joined forces. And I remember reading her true brand profile, is what you used to call it at the time. And she was really trying to figure out what it was that she was wanting to be and focus on. And you helped her. And she was having a real challenging time with it. And she finally got that with you. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, who is this woman? Because who is this incredible person? Like, she did this. I want to meet her. And I sought you out and got in touch with you.
I'm very grateful.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks so much. Let's go over. How about we go over to you, Joni, on this one, and then we'll come back to you, Julie. Where were you before, working with us or meeting us? What were things like for you back then?
I think right around when we started to talk, I was sitting in my garden with my flannel shirt on and my rubber boots at the beginning of the first wave of the pandemic. And it'd been a while since I'd taken a break from my business as it was, and I was seriously loving being in my garden. And I was seriously considering, right on the brink of walking away from my business. And, it was because of my cycles over many years of, I'm very called to do this mentorship. It's really part of the reason why I'm on the planet, and my passion and my sacred responsibility to do this work. And I dedicated a lot of my adult life to doing it. And it gave me great personal, heart rest to do it and fulfillment. However, the rest of me was burning out. Too much energy in, too much time in, too much a scattered way of trying to do the business, too much big spurts of energy, at which time I would put everything I had into it. And of course I would start getting results, but as soon as I started getting results, I would be exhausted and depleted. And so it was work hard, hit some level of success, burn out, and then become resentful of my business and think that was my issue, that if I just needed to get away from doing the business, then I could finally relax and have peace in my life. And so at that point, I was hovering on the eject button for sure. And and then you two, Nadine, you saw something in me that I hadn't been seeing. And you obviously had a wealth of things to share with me so that I could bring my gifts and have a beautiful life. And that was a formula I had not been able to land till that point. So and I was seriously undervaluing my my value as a mentor for all the years of experiences.
Yeah.
I was just not understanding. Some of it was to do with maybe some of the rules in my industry of being a mentor. You don't get to make money at that. And I believed it. So I was operating under a lot of false rules and burnout. And that's where you found me. That's where I found you.
Oh,
Thank you,
Joni.
Yeah.
That is such a
inspiring.
It is really inspiring, and it's such a prevalent story for entrepreneurs and business owners, just burnout and resentment. And I feel like it's the other pandemic of our society right now that's hitting us. And that's, if we were to have a mission, it would be to eradicate that pandemic.
We do. That is our mission. Yeah, that is really connect. It's so aligned with what we really believe, absolutely. Right? And to build on that thought, it's sorry, go ahead, Joni.
Interrupted you.
Okay, it's all right. To build on that thought, really overworking is something that I'm so passionate about right now, and growing this is that overworking. It's burnout and exhaustion do not come from overworking. They come from what we call the say-do gap, which is the gap between what we say and what we do. It's where there is a misalignment with what matters most, how we're spending our time, how we're investing our time in terms of what actually matters most. That's what creates exhaustion, burnout, draining, and resentment.
It's not an issue of time, it's an issue of integrity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thank you.
Is there something still rising for you there, Joni?
I wanted to say that was obviously what was happening at that time, and then there's a lot of happy stories after that. That was kind of the melon start, and then there's more happy stuff to come.
Awesome. We're looking forward to hearing about the happy stories as we go on here.
Yeah, we'll get into that. All right. Thank you, Joni. All right, over to you, Julie. So what about you? Where were you at?
Yeah, I was riding high on a wave of like super success, and had just mastered at a new level sales and was like knocking it out of the park. But what I found was some of the patterns, especially around time mastery, that had been kind of like bubbling up, for years and years and had been dysfunctional, rapidly were magnified when I hit that sales acceleration. So, but right before I texted you, Nadine, I remember I texted you and was like, I'd like to have a sales call. And you were like, no one's ever asked me for a sales call before like that. Right before that, I had actually refunded about $100,000 worth of business because I had not basically had certain fundamentals of time mastery down. And I was like really bummed about that. Luckily, I had the cash still in the bank account. If I didn't, that might have been a really, really sad story. But I had the cash to refund, but it was like, okay, there's something dysfunctional here that I've been ignoring with like through sheer will, just like overpowering it with like working evenings, working nights. And I also knew like I had been sacrificing some things that really mattered to me. And my life was feeling a bit flat. Like it was like all work and no play. I was feeling like I was quite overweight. So I resonated when Lisa said some of the health stuff. Like I was just kind of just like really just single pointed focus, and had like the rest of the juiciness of life and the fun and the play had kind of like evaporated. And I was like achieving the business goals revenue wise, but that's when I started realizing that there's more to even just to business than just revenue, So that's when I texted you for the infamous sales call.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that text. I remember looking at that and saying, what? This is amazing. So what was it as Julie, when we were in those conversations and started, for you and I talked first, and then we brought in Derek, and what was it that had you say yes and to work with us? And then what would you say is your biggest result?
Well,
working with us?
there's a couple of things that I remembered. One was you and I had a call to look at some copy or something that you were exploring. And I remember reading the materials and being like, wow, this is really, really different. This is interesting. Like the time mastery stuff, especially because time has been like, something that I've fought and struggled with and wrestled with and mud wrestled with and never could see what was going on. Like I'm super smart. I'm really diligent. I'm really organized. Why did time always feel like a struggle? And I really found your materials intriguing. And then one time you were like slated for an interview for something that I was creating. And I remember you like wanted to have a call and you're like, I'd like to hear about what's required here and what's the intention and like what is needed for me to prepare. And I was like, wow, she's really deliberate about how she spends her time, and that impressed me, as someone who's like going 100 miles an hour and saying yes, the old me at least saying yes to everything and like just swinging for the fences. I noticed that you were very deliberate with your time. So those were the two things that made me reach out in the first place. And then on the sales call, you kind of walked me through some of the philosophies, which really resonated with me. Like the biggest one I remember was the importance of prioritizing free time and how that fuels like fulfillment and business growth. And I knew that I would always be sacrificing free time, no matter what came up. Like I would just say yes. I would just think another opportunity, just got to keep like growing, expanding, reaching for like new things. But deep down, it was kind of more like scarcity, I think, like the opportunities, say yes to every opportunity because there may not be any more or something like that. So I was just filling my calendar, filling all my free time. My daughter is 11, almost 12, and she would say, Mom, do you have to work tonight? Are you working today on a Saturday? Are you working this evening? She would always kind of be assuming that I was working and I was sacrificing a lot of family time and a lot of free time. So when we spoke, it was really all about the shifting of that paradigm.
Yeah,
completely.
I can feel in this moment the feelings coming like present now for you of what it was like for you then.
Yeah, very just too much.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing left to give was the kind of the feeling.
I remember that. Yeah. And what changed? What's different? Like what business results did you experience? And what other results?
Well, in business, I feel that I have way more perspective on how to plan. So the big takeaway for me was the time mastery system, just learning that, and then implementing it at a level where every decision feels like more like a deliberate trade-off. So I know what I'm prioritizing. I know what I'm saying yes to, or if I'm saying yes, I'm more aware of the preparation time, the implementation, and then the integration afterwards. So there's this holistic view of every commitment, and that gives me the clarity to be able to run a team and run my own calendar, my own life, and still have time off. So I can free time, like as much free time as I want. So I can talk about so many things, so many different specifics about what changed, but it was really a huge mysterious puzzle that I was trying to figure out for years and years and years, and having figured it out, it feels there's more clarity about how the revenue comes in. As a service-based entrepreneur, time is in the equation because delivery of my services takes time, whether it's my time or my team's time. So there's like more clarity about the revenue possibilities. There's more confidence in making the sales. I've said no to projects, no to opportunities, and felt really good about it because I was like, nope, not willing to sacrifice the free time, or, I simply have already sold that time, whatever the thing is. So it's just a lot of confidence, a lot of clarity, and just feeling like I'm in the driver's seat, which is incredible. It's a great feeling.
That is great.
Yeah. You used the word deliberate a few times, and it's that intentional, deliberate feeling of being in choice. And the mystery that you're talking about is really connected to the place that you were making decisions from, the energetics from which you were making decisions. Before were more about not enough, feeling scarcity, having your back against a wall, feeling like you had to. You mentioned that just a few minutes ago, like that kind of the energy around that. Mm-hmm. And you transformed into deliberate, intentional, being at choice, being sovereign. And we call this the ridge walk. Mm-hmm. And it's a key concept to our business and to our coaching and the results that our clients get. Yeah. You talked about, you described that really.
Yeah, because as everybody walks through life, really, we walk through a place that's on a ridge where there are choices, and there are multiple choices every single day. And on one side of that, there can be fear around a choice that you're going to make, and then on the other side, there can be possibility, something that's inspiring around that choice, and working in that place where you can take one step at a time on the side of possibility versus being pulled over to fear, and the difference that can make can be staggering.
Yes, incredibly different. And this idea of this ridge walk, just to build on this idea just a little bit, is so fundamental and so important, is that we're literally like walking on the spine of a mountain, walking along the ridge. And on that ridge, on one side of one slope is not enoughness, fear, lack. The other side is possibility, truth, abundance. And it's the place from which we make the choice, the decision, that actually has us attract more of that type of energy. So in the ridge walk, what we do is if a person is trying to make a decision and really coming from scarcity or lack or not enoughness, what we do is we help clients stop walking and stop, taking action, and take a moment to really see and feel and really be with what's happening, and then make the choice, help them make a choice that's coming from possibility, coming from inspiration. And then what happens is it's exponential. They get more possibility, more inspiration, and then they start to see results that are actually showing that the possibility, that their vision is actually happening. So thank you for describing that, Julie.
I do want to share one more thing about that. Is
sure.
We had this powerful session, Nadine, where we kind of like emptied the purse, and we wrote down all of these commitments that I had on my plate, and a lot of them felt very heavy and overwhelming. And I wasn't seeing a return from the commitment, or I wasn't feeling inspired to go to the commitment, whether it was like a meeting or a group or even some paid offers that I had sold. And we just eliminated so many things that were kind of weighing me down in that one meeting. And it was like terrifying to go back to all those people and say, hey, I've reworked my commitments, or I'm not going to be able to keep this commitment, but it's important for me to be in integrity with you, to tell you that I really appreciate you. And I appreciate the opportunity, but I'm not going to be able to do this, and do whatever it took to unravel those. And then it was amazing, like the freedom and the space that created for more of what I actually really wanted.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Love it. Love the ability to be able to make decisions from your inner wild wisdom, your inner wisdom and your truth of what's right for you to be in integrity. Thanks for describing that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was fun. Awesome. Let's go. Thank you. Are you complete for now, Julie? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, let's go over to Lisa.
Lisa, so what about you? Like, what was it that had you, when you look back, what was it that had you say yes? And what has been, say, one of the biggest results you've experienced in working with us?
Okay, well, I feel like I want to answer the first question for this time around, because I'm actually on my second time around working with you guys, and I can remember much more freshly why I said yes this
Awesome.
time. And it's speed. It took me 8 years of trying to like figure out how to have a ridiculously successful business. And the whole time I didn't think it was possible, which is why it wasn't happening. And, you know, after the first time around working with you, I learned how quickly things can happen. Like it blew my mind how quickly, like I doubled my revenue and then I doubled it again. And then I like halved the amount of clients I took. And then I halved the amount of time I spent on those clients live. And like things that I thought were supposed to take years and years and years and years with your support the first time around, I was able to see like things happening quickly and easily in many cases. And so it's kind of a cheating. It's kind of cheating because I'm answering it based on what I already knew about working with you. But this time around, I could feel that there was another leveling up, like wanting to happen. And I wasn't interested in going slow, like my kind of fast, which is still slow, but I wasn't interested in it taking any longer than it needed to, because I was trying to like do it comfortably or like in my safety zone or whatever. And so I've just become a big believer in big, bold acts of bravery and saying yes to me and my belief in myself, and then kind of trusting that that will pay off. And so that's what happened the first time around. That's why I said yes the second time around. And it also kind of answers the other question of what I got out of the work with you. Like the biggest change in me, like I kind of alluded to before, is like, I believe that I can do things. Like you know, before I worked with you, I would set all of these goals. And I would like, there was a part of me that thought, yeah, why can't I do these? Because I logically knew I was capable. But there was a gut part of me that was like, good luck, never gonna happen. Ha ha ha. You know, like I just had such a lack of belief that anything I wanted was ever gonna happen. And so what changed in me the most is like, I really believe anything can happen now. Like I really do. I don't know, like I still have moments of doubt, of course, and I get caught up in things like that. But like, I'm now a person who really believes that I can create whatever I want as long as it's truly what I want. And so, you know, just so much more bold, brave, you know, willing to take those leaps, take those risks, and like have my own back and like believe in myself. That's completely night and day. And then the one other thing I want to say, because Julie reminded me of it, is that what she did, where she went back and she said to somebody, I've changed my mind and, you know, this is what's going to happen. That kind of sovereignty, that kind of like, you know, self-honoring, you know, taking and like making the uncomfortable move in order to honor yourself. That's also like absolutely one of the biggest changes in me, is being able to honor myself, even if it feels like it's going to lead to an uncomfortable conversation or disappointing someone, or, you know, all of those things. Those used to be the can'ts that would keep me like completely out of integrity with what I was doing. And I would be people pleasing and I'd be doing all of those things. And I didn't think I got to do what I actually wanted to do. And I didn't think I had permission for so many things. And so defy can't, like, it describes like completely what's happened for me. It's like seeing all the can'ts I didn't know that I was buying into, and then playing with them and seeing maybe I can, and, kind of gaining that as a bit of a skill to notice when I'm like, wait a minute, why do I think that's not possible? Or why don't I think I get to do that? And like, just seeing it in a way I never, ever did before.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I love the defying of can'ts, taking something that's an I can't to a, well, why can't I?
Or how can I?
And then to I can, and then how can I?
Yeah,
and
yeah,
getting
yeah.
right to the, like, let's do this. And I loved walking that journey with you. It was just so amazing to be a part of and to witness that and to see so much growth in you. The change from as an entrepreneur running your own business of experiencing some self-doubt in the business and questioning yourself to that place of self-trust and trusting that you have what you need and that you can make those decisions. It's super exciting to watch that growth.
Yeah. Any other, Lisa, for you, any other results or highlights that you are experiencing now that are different from maybe your past? Like anything else that, like, I know some of the things that you're really proud of are, your relationships with your clients and, some of these things. So anything else coming up for you?
Well, yes. That one actually came up for me, and I there are many things I could say, but like this one is really worth saying. I didn't think I got to be loving. I didn't think I got to be truly compassionate and warm and like in love with my clients. I thought I had to be impressive and smart and intelligent and clever, and I had to put on a show for them so that they would think I was super valuable. And obviously, like, I've really melted a lot of that kind of harder shell of trying to be, what I thought people thought great business consultants looked like, and letting that melt away and understanding, like, I get to lead with my heart. I get to put my whole heart into a client relationship, and it makes, like, it's received with so much gratitude, and like my client results are so much better because of how I've changed. Like, I've been, like, for one thing, like, I've taken a much larger stand for the kind of transformation I want to help create. So longer programs, bigger investments, more of me. I've brought on a team to support them. Like, I've really just like put their highest in my mind, and I'm willing to stand and fight for it with like all of me and with my heart. And it's been incredible. Like, my client relationships are gold. Like, I love them. And I used to feel so much dread and nervousness going into client calls, anything client delivery. Like, I loved my clients then, but I was scared of them. And now I feel at home with my clients and like able to truly just be completely open and imperfectly me and messy in my authenticity. And like, there's just a whole like, like, that has happened. And because of that, there's so much less stress.
Awesome. That's so great.
Thank you for that. Do you feel complete on that thought for now, or anything else rising in you?
No, I'm going to stop and let Joni go.
Very inspiring. All right, Joni.
Let's go to Joni.
Yeah. So Joni, how did that, had you say yes? And what has been your biggest business results so far?
So yeah, what had me say yes was, there was a few things. I don't think I realized how tough it was on me to be a solopreneur with nobody else but me, to motivate myself, to try to learn things about business strategy, to deliver my product, plus build a business. I didn't have a team. It was something that I'd always done on my own. And I now recognize that was part of what wasn't working for me, was that I love people. and I get really excited to be in a co-creative relationship with people. So I can see now how I was up against something that was really not doable without help, especially with the limited resources I had around really creating a business that worked for me. Because, like I say, I'm confident in what I do with people. However, that doesn't mean I have business acumen on how to actually set up a feasible business that's, financially successful and where there's time wealth in the business. And so, I was at a really tender spot. And Nadine, part of, like when I met you, you actually came into one of my events,
Mhm.
and I was mentoring you, and I, had a lot of admiration for you, and I felt that we spoke the same language on a lot of levels, because I had assumed business coaches were they weren't going to be my people. They weren't going to be my like-minded people, which is really important to me. If I'm going to share my journey at depth, I need to be very much in alignment with the values of whoever I'm sharing my journey with. And you both illustrated to me back then that there could be, as Lisa puts it, heart in the business. And that's imperative to me. Heart connection and being in service and being in loving service is the point of my spear. That's what I care most about. So, I had that in the chat. I had my own ideas around what could be more financially abundant or time abundant behind the point of that spear. And I couldn't see behind it because I didn't. So you were the first people that I saw that actually were capturing that you had service, love, commitment, heart, time wealth at the point of your spear, and you have this beautiful life. And so it kind of startled me because I'd not witnessed that before, this holistic approach that really, really took into consideration who I am as a person and my unique history, which has not been an easy one. And so there was this feeling that you're really on my side in a really beautiful way, not just in a way to capture me as a client, to really care about me as a person and care about the message that I'm delivering to others, really want me to be able to help others in this way. And so it just felt like it was my friends. It was obvious to me when I decided to say yes. You were my friends. And so that was really that needing to have companionship. And there was also peace around where I realized through our first talks and walks and everything together that I'd never really invested in myself in any real significant way. I mean, of course, I've invested a ton of, work into my healing, but I mean financially, that I'd never just prioritized myself like that, to go that I'm worth it and my message is worth it. And the ability for me to be able to reach more people is worth this investment. And it was scary because I was like, oh my gosh. So I think it was in saying that yes was my first breakthrough, and claiming and going, yeah, I am worth this. And so is my gift. So are my gifts worth this. So that was the yes. Those combination of factors flowed into a very joyful yes for me.
Of course.
Yeah, it is so important to be like, when we're exploring the potential of working with a new client, or even working with a client again in a new phase of work, it really is an exploration. It's really about, what is this person wanting? Why do they want it? Why don't they have it yet? And, what's at risk if they don't have it, if they don't create it? And ultimately, through that exploration, it's going to make sense or it won't make sense to partner together. And it's a journey to get that clarity together.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's been a real honor to be able to be at your side, Joni, and along the way. And I really am grateful that you pointed to this idea of feeling some fear and some uncertainty, around that choice, because when we're making a choice to invest in ourselves as the owner of our company, as the main asset, we are the primary asset in our company, the leader, the owner of the company. It's a journey of really stepping into that self-worth, that choosing that, our time matters, and that choice matters. And that's actually something that I would love to bring up is, and maybe Julie or Lisa, you might have anything else coming up, like what fears and hesitations came up for you, and why did you ultimately say yes to being coached and to be in partnership with us?
In the face of those fears.
Well, I can't think of any fears that I had, honestly, Nadine. When I started, our connection, our bond was so strong. I was like, how fast can we get started?
Yeah.
When can we get started? I knew well enough to know that the investment was small, very small in comparison to what we could create together if I had the awareness about the time mastery piece. So I was super, super excited to get started. My bigger fears came up around the work in actually working together and prioritizing myself and having really tough conversations, really hard stuff, canceling groups that I felt I really wished I wanted to be there. And I loved the people that I met, but I was this is just not producing, I'm sacrificing even more time to be here, and it's not the right opportunity for me. Even, canceling client work or renegotiating contracts with my best clients, because I had known that for quite a while I was kind of over delivering for, just because I'm super loyal and I think I value the relationship more than the money, but also I needed, from a time perspective and a commitment and an equal exchange, I needed to get those agreements and integrity. So the big fears for me came more in working, in doing the work together and navigating those tough conversations. And one of the biggest payoffs in navigating the fear was in a conversation with Derek. I was beside myself because this client was so upset about my being late on something, and was wanting a refund and wanting to cancel. And we just got super clear on the plan and, what we were how I was gonna connect with her. And to your point, Lisa, with the heart, really reconnect from the heart. And I had messed up, like I said, I was in the process of figuring out the time mastery. So I had made a couple of planning errors that had pushed the project a couple weeks. And I went back to her and reconnected from the heart, took responsibility, gave the plan. She was at the end of the call, she was I know you're the right person for me. And I know we're going to make this work. And I'm so on board. And, and then she was blown away. She doubled her highest launch of all time. And she's rehired me and is one of my top referrers. So navigating the fear was so worth it. And reconnecting from that heart place was huge. It's every fear step is worth it.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, it's such a great story. I had so much fun on that call with you that day too, and just working through that whole situation. So
yeah.
Well,
and that's a great example of the Ridge Walk, because had you made a decision from the place of fear, it wouldn't have ended like that. We know that for sure. And so you saw it, you looked at it, you kind of looked what was underneath it, where was that coming from, and then you got into your heart, you got into your inner wisdom, and you made the decision, the choice, the next step from that place. You spoke the truth, and more abundance, more possibility, referrals, loyalty, all of it came flooding towards you because of the truth that you spoke from your heart and your inner wisdom. Yeah, that's such a great story. So Julie, let's stick with you for a moment and just connecting to, like, overall, how is your life different? How's your business and your life different since we did this work together?
Overall, I would say it's a lot sweeter, a lot more spacious. Like in the right order, like putting first things first, and feeling like I can decide what commitments will require and what makes sense, and what my goals, like what choosing goals that really matter to me, and having, like, as a leader, it's super important for me to be in integrity with my time. Because if I'm not, my team's not going to be, and having that confidence in myself to lead my team is really, really awesome, So there's so many things, but I would just say life is a lot sweeter. It's a lot more spacious. There's a lot more free time. There's like really serious boundaries in terms of like what I'm not willing to accept, or where I'm willing to give and where I'm not willing to give. And I've found that it's of service to not give when you don't have it to give. And to not say you're going to give something that you don't have to give, and, to really like put myself first. It's a very rich way of life. So more revenues, of course, more team members. Now I've shared some of the project planning stuff that I've come up with clients and with other copywriters that are like amazed that, that I have such a time mastery over my calendar. And it's like I can be an influence and a light with other people, who need that too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Spread the wealth.
You have time mastery over your calendar, and even more rooted than that, even at another level you've got mastery. You've developed mastery of your self leadership, being able to lead yourself and your choices and decisions around your time, your money decisions, as well as your team decisions. And you're an incredible example of being able to exponentially multiply your revenue because of mastering your time. Mastering your time is leading to elevated revenue, making a bigger difference, having a bigger impact with your clients, with your team, with your family, and having breathing room and spaciousness in your business.
And your life.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. You cool for now on that one?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. All right. So let's go over either Lisa or Joni, whoever wants to pop up on this one is, what about you? Like, what is life now or business like now compared to perhaps before, like overall?
Go ahead, Lisa. Are you ready?
I can go. I feel like I've said a lot of it, but I'll try to kind of be concrete. Although a lot of it's not the concrete, a lot of it is like how I've changed as a person, but the results that's created for me, so much less stress and anxiety in relationships, especially, and not just business relationships, but all of my relationships. I remember saying at one point to you and to some of the other clients that I've never been more myself in all of my relationships than I am right now. Like, and that journey of like accepting myself so that I can be myself in all of those relationships has been so freeing. I did like improve my sales process, like my ability to show up and like genuinely offer people to work with me from a healthy place, like the inspiration and love and self-belief side of the Ridge Walk, where I used to always be on the other side, has just really changed the game for my business, like breaking multiple revenue levels that I, didn't think I could. I never thought I would have a team. I did not think I could handle a team. I didn't think I could handle being a leader, having the kind of responsibility where I'm promising people that I'm going to pay them every month. I just didn't even think that was a possibility for me. I launched the brand that I had been holding in the back corner, too afraid that people wouldn't like it, that it wasn't good enough, that I wasn't good enough. I polished that off and like put it out there in the world with so much pride and so much lack of concern what anybody else thought about it. And it was the smoothest process of my life because I didn't ask anybody for advice, but I hired a lot of help, and then I just trusted myself, and I just went one step after another, and I launched my business, and then I hired my team, and then I it's just been like, I feel like a completely different person. Like I am a completely different person. Everyone around me has commented on how I'm a completely different person. Like my health changed because of the inner work that we've done here and with the help of others too. It's like I'm operating at 90% where I used to be at like 30. So I just feel like I'm so much more capable, so much more confident, and like I said before, I used to be just waiting for people to tell me what to do, and I was waiting for permission to do things, and I was just looking outside of me. I'm a business strategist, and I was waiting for someone to tell me how to grow my business. And so the number one thing that has changed is that I have totally stopped outsourcing my power to other people and looking and concerning myself with what everybody else thinks I should do, and doing what I believe in. And realizing that, even if that fails, I would so much rather do what I believe in and stumble a little and have to learn and try something else than go against what I believe in and then feel like I have nothing if it doesn't work out, because I kind of betrayed myself to do it that way.
Yeah. I feel like you're putting a stake in the ground as you're speaking. It's like, this is it. You're speaking your truth of really what happened and what is different. So yeah, I felt like I was on the edge of my seat listening to you just now. Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you.
Yeah. You feel, yeah. Okay. I just noticed you muted yourself. So I think I was about to say, do you feel cool for now? All right. Okay. Thank you. All right. So Joni, I love to say this is one of my favorite expressions. I'm going to say it in a nutshell. What, overall, in a nutshell, how is your business, your life different now?
Well, it's changed a lot for sure. First of all, I have what I would call a legitimized business. Before it was just kind of so loose. Now I have a container for what I do and what I offer. And it's a beautiful custom built container. And that's one of the things I appreciate most about this process, is that I was shown by you two that I not only could I create a business that was absolutely according to my own personal needs, it's essential that I do it that way. That I create everything, like the time mastery is essential for my mental emotional well-being. And that I needed to look at every single day of my week and determine what is the componentry of each day that allows me to put myself first and maintain with devotion the practices that I know I need for my mental emotional health, that I teach to my clients, right? That comes first. And I've never thought about it that way before. You know, like Julie, I was thinking like it's all about the business first and capitalize on the opportunities and everything else goes to the side, you know, and then whatever's left over is for me, which there was never much left over. So now I get that it's about me first, Joni first. And that is so this is not just within the scope of my business. This has affected my whole life, because I'm recognizing that that applies across the board to anything that I'm going to commit to in my life or give myself to. And that I get to fluctuate with that because life changes. You know, sometimes life has more stressful elements in it than at other times. And so being able to have that power as a CEO of my own business to say, this is going to come in front right now. I'm going to choose this right now. Mm-hmm. And I feel a tremendous sense of integrity in that I've never captured before. You know, a tremendous sense of honoring myself and everything that I've gone through for my own healing. And also really, really getting it that when I do that, I honor my clients because I show up in such a full way when I'm full. And so, yeah, and for me, it's been the same. There's been some no's, you know, like that, you know, bless you and no, because that's going to take too much from me. And then I won't have what I need for the other people that I'm committed to, myself included, and my children and my family, etc. So learning that no, I'm in the process of that right now. It's a tough one for me because I never said it before. You know, I always felt obligated. When somebody showed up and said, will you help me? It was always an automatic yes. And now I'm learning that to be more discerning and to have more mastery in my discernment around that process. So, you know, as well, my business revenue-wise is in a place it's never been. And I'm seeing the potential for so much more there. And that's giving me a lot more freedom. You know, up until about 3 years ago, I was in long-term relationship and, you know, my partner was helping to look after expenses because I had children. And so, you know, grasping this time in my life, that it was a really important goal for me to become completely financially independent. And it was tough after 20 some years of not being, you know, so I've achieved that in spades in a fairly short amount of time. So the amount of freedom that's given me is enormous. That freedom and power and that sovereignty is a really joyful part of this for me. It's such a joyful celebration. So yeah, a lot has changed, you know, the way I am. I mean, my business model has changed. I'm, you know, doing programs instead of one-off sessions, you know, and I'm committed to programs because that's where the transformation is and that's what makes sense. So my whole business model has changed. And it's changed according to what I need, to my gifts and who I am. So you know, there's a more of a sense of restfulness inside of me now. You know, I'm more relaxed in what I deliver. And that's the sweet spot for me. One of my number one priorities in my life is peace. And I'll do a lot to create peace in my life. And so this model, the support that I've been given is helped me to walk my talk and close that say-do gap big time. It feels really tightly almost closed, that say-do gap. All the things, and I mean say because I say a lot of stuff. I talk a lot. I teach a lot, I mentor a lot, and I'm saying a lot of stuff to people around this way, maybe this way, maybe this way. And so I'm always checking it against, am I walking those things that I'm talking about? And I feel more of that now than I ever have in my life. And there's a lot more I can say, and I'm going to wrap it with that.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to do part two of this interview. Yeah. Thank you, Joni.
I see you in your fierce integrity every day, and it's such a pleasure.
Absolutely. Thank you, Joni. Speaking to that say-do gap, as we close that say-do gap, and there's little ones in between too, we close them, get in integrity. And what happens absolutely is our energy goes up. We're no longer exhausted, and the peace. That's where inner peace comes from. That is the answer to inner peace. So thank you for demonstrating that, Joni. Yes. Yeah. All right. So as we bring this to a close, it's been incredible
so fun
with you three. Here's a little curiosity. Like if someone was considering, reaching out for a discovery call with us, we call it a consult, a complimentary consult with us. Or even considering working with us, what would you say to them? And this is for any of you, whoever wants to pop up. What would you say to them?
I would say that the decision to work with Derek and Nadine could be one of the most life transformative decisions that you ever make. And I would encourage them to have a consult with you. Just even in the consult, there's so much to learn and gain. So
thank you.
I say to people.
Thank you.
That's beautiful. I would say if you have big plans, big dreams, big goals, and you want to achieve those things while making yourself a priority, without sacrificing family, without having one of those oh shit moments, where you realize, my ladder was up against the wrong wall, and I've invested a lot of time into something that ultimately doesn't bring me fulfillment. I would say definitely connect. And the consult is so valuable just in and of itself. You'll have insights, ahas. I never felt pressured or, manipulated or pushed at all. It has to be a match, and it has to be an intuitive, aligned connection, and you'll feel that, or you won't on the call. And I think it's a great opportunity. You'll gain wisdom and insights, even if you decide not to work with them, but definitely check it out. You won't have no idea what they have in store for you.
Awesome. Thank you, Julie.
Thanks, Julie.
Well, the first thing that I would say is you're not going to find people like this anywhere else. Like I have never encountered a set of coaches like these two human beings. And I know I never will. Like you guys are one of a kind, and like your presence and just being who you are is your greatest gift. Like just seeing the way that you've done so much work on yourselves, that I can say something to you that I'm pretty sure anyone else in the world would react to with defensiveness, or try to force me to not see it that way, or try to fix my feelings immediately, or try to, like things that most people would be shocked and uncomfortable, or, try to kind of push back. And you are the one place in the world where I know anything can go, like anything. You can handle anything I bring to you, like even if it's about you, even if it's about the sales process, even if it's about the fear of investing. And like, I don't know where that came from, but you guys are like one of a kind. And so that would be the first thing I would say. um, like it's a scary thing when it's not something you've done before. If you've never worked with, and I had worked with coaches, but, I had worked with advice givers, not coaches. Coaching changes the capacity for what's possible for you when it's done by people like Nadine and Derek. And I haven't encountered other people like Nadine and Derek, so you better call them. And like everybody else said, like, it's just like they're worth knowing, like connect with them and just make a connection with these people as human beings. It's, like I remember saying to you guys, I kept waiting for it not to be real. I couldn't believe that you were who you seemed to be. I remember meeting you in person for the first time and being so sure that I was going to find the crack, in the lining. And I've been working with you, and, you've been my clients earlier on, and I've known you for 3 years probably now. And there's just a level of trust and love and connection that I didn't know was possible for me in a relationship. And so I can say that I trust these people with everything that I am, and that they, you are what you seem. You are what you seem. And I can vouch for that.
Thank you so much, Lisa.
Thank you for letting that flow through you. I feel that.
Yeah,
Thank
I feel
you.
it too.
All right. Do you feel complete for now there? Okay, amazing. Thank you. Anything that any of you want to say before
we close things
close?
off? And
yeah, anything rising?
awesome.
Okay, so how about, Joni, did you have something?
I want to say personally, thank you for the invitation to be on this call today, and also for, how much you've been there for me and really given your time and your heart into me and what I do. And that the level of trust and love is really special for me too. And I wouldn't have it any other way. Personally, I wouldn't work with anybody and that's why I haven't maybe till you two. That's somebody that I could really be fully myself with and really feel who you are. And somebody once said to me, when somebody doesn't show you all of who they are, you can't trust them. And so both of you show me all of who you are on many levels. And I know I get to, and I choose to show all of who I am in this relationship. And thus there is that beautiful trust there. So yeah, I want to say thank you from my heart.
You are very welcome, and thank you for being in our lives.
Yeah. All right, ladies. Oh gosh, this has been so inspiring. And I'd love for each of you to quickly share how, if somebody's watching this and they feel inspired to reach out to you, how can they do that? Let's start with you, Joni.
Yes, I'd love that. I would absolutely love to be there on a call with anybody that would like to reach out to me. So you can reach me shall I give my phone number?
If you're comfortable with that, or your email address, whatever.
My phone number is 3-818-7562. And my email is jtabiner@gmail.com, and I will spell that JTABBINER@gmail.com.
Amazing. Thank you. And the area code at the beginning was 403. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Lisa, how about you?
I just want to say that's like an example of building a business your own way. Like, I was so shocked you didn't just share our website. But it just shows this level of intimacy that you've built into your business, Joni. It's really, really impressive. I'm going to send you to a website. No. You can find, I would also be happy to connect with anyone. You can find me at realize with a Z, realizeyourbrand.com. And you can email me, lisa@realizeyourbrand.com. There, I went one extra step.
And if you happen to be in the US watching this, it's a Z.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
All right. Thanks, Lisa. And Julie, how can people get in touch with you?
This was such a heart explosion. I love it. I love this call. Thank you both again for inviting me. It's copycrimes.com, www.copycrimes.com.
Awesome.
Amazing. It has been, thank you, Julie. It has been an honor. I am inspired. I'm just so, my heart is exploding too. And I love how you said that, Julie. So it's been a real honor to walk beside you and to walk with you on this journey to be here, to coach these incredible powerhouse women entrepreneurs, and to be here with you on your journey. So thanks for joining us.
Yes.
Anything you want to say
Thank you
to complete?
each and every one of you. It's just been such an honor and a pleasure to work with you, and even more to spend this time with you this afternoon. It's been fun. It's been exciting. It's been moving and humbling as well, to just be in your experience. So thank you.
And thank you for those of you who are listening to these amazing women and being here. And, if you feel inspired to want to have a call with us and meet us and get to know us and, have some help from us to get clarity, that is complimentary. And there's a button on our website called book a consult, book a free consult. Feel free to go ahead and click on that. And we'd love to meet with you on the other side of that. So, you'll have the real us, both of us live together. So we'll see you there, hopefully. Yeah. So have an amazing rest of your day, everyone. We'll see you where we see ya. And thanks again for being here. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.